What's up guys, Rumblin' Man here, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite guitars Epiphone has ever made, and that is the Epiphone ES-339 Pro. As always guys, welcome to the Rumblin' Man channel. Today I'm coming to you from Florida. In fact, I'm coming to you from my home studio room in Florida. And we have a lot of birds on the property, and some of them are very loud. So if you do hear birds chirping in the background, please forgive me. So I've got a guitar review for you today. I've loved Epiphone over the years. You know, when I was a kid growing up, it was like, okay, Squier is Fender's lower brand and Epiphone is Gibson's lower brand, so I'm going to stay away from them both. But actually that's not at all necessary, because with Squier guitars, when you get up into some of their higher end models, you find some wonderful instruments, and the same is true with Epiphone. The guitar I'm showing you today is a guitar that I don't really consider to be a beginner's instrument. There's a variety of tones that you can get out of the pickups. The neck is incredibly player friendly, and the styling is classic. Ladies and gentlemen, the Epiphone ES-339 Pro. Quick shout out to my buddy Jeff, who is my anonymous guitar tech here in Florida. Jeff has given me a great deal on purchasing this guitar from him, and I really appreciate that. I love this guitar. It is very cool. Obviously it looks sweet. Now this is going to be a body type that you will recognize, but a little different, you know, because you know the classic Gibson and Epiphone 335 model. Well, this is a take on that, as it's the same basic shape, but what they do with the 339 is they make that shape a little bit smaller. So if you prefer the body style more of a Les Paul or something that's not quite the size of a 335, this gives you an option to have the same basic guitar, but with a smaller frame. I've been using this guitar on quite a few things lately. I played it live a little bit at a restaurant one night, and also for some worship things at church. And I've been doing some recording with it. It's made an appearance on some worship tracks. In fact, even earlier today, I was sitting right here doing some recording with it. And I love this guitar. I love the sounds. I love the neck. When I first played it at Jeff's place one day, I was just like, man, this neck is great. I need this guitar. So Jeff was very kind to give me a good deal on it. The pickups on this guitar are Epiphone's custom wound Alnico Classic Pro humbuckers, and they're great. And something I love about them very much is that they have coil tapping. So essentially, two of these knobs, the two volume knobs here, have push-pull pots, which allow you to split the humbuckers into single coils. And being able to split each pickup into single coils and have an individual volume for each pickup gives you a lot of versatility in the vast array of tones that you can get out of this instrument. For the controls here, we have a three-way selector, so that's going to allow you to select the bridge, both, or neck humbuckers. And then we have two volumes right here, so essentially this is going to be the volume knob for the bridge pickup, and this is the volume knob for the neck pickup. And we have two tone knobs here as well, and I really like these tone knobs, just, you know, give you even more colorful sounds. And so this tone knob right here is for the bridge pickup, and this tone knob right here is for the neck pickup. So it's very standard controls to what you would find usually in a Epiphone or Gibson 335, except unlike some of the more vintage guitars, you do have coil tapping with this. And I just really love all the sounds you can get. You know, you can get thick rock sounds with this humbucker, you can get clean, really smooth, beautiful jazz sounds with this humbucker, and then you can coil tap for pop sounds, worship sounds, even country sounds. Whatever you want to do with this guitar, whatever style of music you want to play, you can do it. So the body is a reduced size laminate maple body, but it has a solid center block. The neck is made of mahogany and has a slim taper D profile. For the neck joint, we have a glued in Mortise and tenon neck joint, which is really cool. And the guitar has an adjustable truss rod. and an overall scale length of 24.75. So the fretboard here, I actually didn't know this until just now, but this fretboard is a Peo-Ferro fretboard, and they had me fooled because I was thinking it might be ebony or rosewood, but like what you'll get with some of the newer Made in Mexico Fenders, this is going to be a Peo-Ferro fretboard. So these inlays are mother of pearl dot inlays. And then for the humbuckers, as I mentioned a minute ago, they're both Epiphone Alnico Classic Pro, but this one in the bridge is actually Epiphone Alnico Classic Pro Plus. We got 22 medium jumbo frets, and the tailpiece here is a lock-tone stop bar with a lock-tone tune-o-matic bridge. Now, I believe this guitar now comes with Epiphone Deluxe machine heads, but these, as you can see, are kind of vintage-style Grover Deluxe machine heads. So I don't know if perhaps they changed it, or maybe if the website just didn't detail that they were made by Grover. I don't know what the case is there, so if you know, you can feel free to enlighten me about that in the comments. But either way, they're very cool tuners, and obviously Grovers are very trustworthy. You know, what's interesting is for laminate wood, this sure is beautiful, and I mean, it feels great to the touch. It's not super heavy, but it is a little bottom heavy. I just really like it for playing on stage, for playing in the studio. It's really great if you want a 335 kind of guitar, but you want a smaller body. You don't necessarily want the bulk of the 335 sitting on your lap or hanging around you on a strap. To go with a 339 body shape is a really cool idea. And to me, this guitar just has a very vintage feeling to it, but also has some really cool new edge to it as well. This particular finish is very beautiful, vintage sunburst, but you can also get it in an array of other colors like Pelham blue, black, cherry, a few others as well. So definitely in terms of looks, it's very appealing, and you've got a number of selections when it comes to finish. So obviously you can see some of the things I like about it, but I am in this video going to give you pros and cons, because obviously when you're going to buy an instrument, and spend multiple $100s on an instrument, it is good to know what the best things about it are, and also if there's any drawbacks. Before I do that though, we're going to do a full demo, so don't go anywhere. Stay right here with me on the Rumblin' Man YouTube channel. We're going to plug it up real quick, and we're going to check out just a few of the different tones that this guitar has to offer. For the demo today, I'm running the Epiphone straight into a computer interface, just with one monster cable. And for the amp modeling and effects that you'll be hearing, I'm just using basic software. I just want you to be able to hear a little bit of what this guitar is capable of, because I find one of the greatest things about it is the sound. So for the first demo, I know you're already wondering what kind of jazzy tones you can get with this thing. And honestly, a guitar like this, that's semi-hollow, with a neck humbucker in it and a good tone knob, you can get wonderful, wonderful, wonderful jazz tones. So let's hear a little bit of what kind of jazzier tones you might be able to get with this guitar. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you may be saying to me today, well, Rumblin' Man, can it rock? I mean, can I crank it and turn it up and use it for a music style that's a little more in your face? And my answer is yes, you can. So let's check out the bridge humbucker. Let's turn on some overdrive and crank it and see what kind of rock tones we can get with this guitar. So let's check out some of the coil splitting sounds that you can get with this wonderful axe here. I'm going to play some, I play worship music primarily on electric guitar, so I'm going to play some of that, and we're just going to go on and tap the coils of these humbuckers, and I'm going to go from pickup to pickup and just play a few of the different tones you can get with it coil tapped, and let's check that out and see how it sounds. So guys, obviously that's just a few of the different array of sounds that you can get with this guitar, but really there are a ton of sounds that you can get with it when you use the volume knobs, the selector, the tone knobs, the coil tapping. I mean, there's so many different combinations that it would certainly be very challenging to try to do them all in one sitting. But I know you want to hear about what I think the pros and cons are. I'm going to give you 3 pros and 3 cons, and I'm going to give you a pro, then a con, pro, then a con. All right, so you ready? Pro number 1 is the sound. To me, these Pro Alnico Epiphone humbuckers, I think they really hit it on the head with these. They sound really cool, and it's why I love leading worship and recording with this guitar. Con number 1 is I personally have trouble keeping it in tune. However, that does not necessarily speak for the model as a whole. Like we've talked about before on the channel here, if your guitar is not staying in tune, there could be a host of reasons. You know, there could be an issue in your nut, and a cheaper nut can often be the cause of something like that. It can be something in the bridge, it can be something with the tuners, it could be the way the strings are wound. So I don't know what's causing me to have tuning issues with this guitar. I just know that I am having a hard time keeping it in tune. So if you're going to get one of these, you might need to be willing and prepared to have a setup done, or if you have the skills in place to go on and do a setup yourself to try to make sure that you can keep it in tune. Pro number 2 for me is going to be feel. When I first played this over at Jeff's place, like I mentioned earlier, the thing that stood out to me was just how great it feels to play this neck. It's a very smooth playing experience. You know, and the action and everything is just great on this guitar. I mean, I can hit all the notes I want to hit and hit them very well. So the playability of this thing is great. And really the contour of this body makes it a lot easier to play, in my opinion, than perhaps a full-sized 335 would be. So if you're looking for ease of playing, I think this is a great guitar for you. Con number 2 to me is going to be volume balance. Whereas I really love the full humbucker tones you can get with this guitar, as well as the coil split tones. When you split the coils, it is a number of decibels quieter than when you have the full humbuckers. And I wish there was a little more balance, because that way, if I'm going to do coil tapping, then I need to be prepared in a live setting to use a volume pedal a lot to try to balance out the sound, or to try to achieve that with some sort of compression. So I do wish there was a little more decibel balance when using coil splitting features with this guitar. However, it's really not that big a deal, and it's still a great guitar to use in any environment. Pro number 3 to me is, I think it's just an excellent representation of the historical value that Gibson and Epiphone alike exuberate. You know, it's a very vintage feeling instrument, and if you love vintage but want something that has some modern things to offer in one simple, affordable range guitar, I think this is a great buy. It's a great representation of just the beautiful quality that they've had in these guitars throughout the years. Con number 3 to me is that it doesn't feel like an expensive guitar. So obviously when you get a more budget-friendly item, it's not always going to have that feeling like, you know, you put this in my hands and I can play it for a minute and then tell you, wow, I'm playing a $2,000 guitar. I mean, the neck very much feels, I like the neck, I love the neck, it's one of my favorite necks in the world, and it's got a nice kind of a glossy finish to it, but it doesn't necessarily feel like you're holding an $1,800 Gibson. It wouldn't trick me, but it is a wonderful representation. So guys, there's some pros and cons. I just want to give you both sides of the perspective, so that if you're thinking about buying one of these, that you'll know kind of what my experience with the guitar has been. I always recommend trying something out before you buy, just to make sure it's a good fit. But if you're already sold just from this review and you want to go in and get yours today, I've got a link in the description where you can order yours right now and have it shipped to you. And actually, it's with Amazon, and Amazon, if you get Prime, they do offer very fast free shipping on the items you purchase. So I certainly recommend going over and ordering it if you're ready to roll. As always, God bless you guys, and thanks so much for watching this video today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the review and the demos and everything, and I hope it was helpful to you. If it was, and if you did like it, please go in and give me a thumbs up button, as it's always great to have plenty of thumbs ups on my videos. And if you want to see more guitar and bass, pedal, and amp reviews, I've got so much stuff coming up that I'm trying to carve out time to review everything I'm going to review, and it's going to be great, and we're going to take a look at a lot of great things here on the Rumbling Man channel. So please do yourself and me a favor and go on and subscribe. I also am on social media, so you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or both. My handle is Rumbling Man, but really where you want to stay and drive your attention is right here on YouTube, where you're going to get reviews, some live sessions, some demos, tutorials, things of that nature here on the Rumbling Man channel. I also have a couple crowdfunding websites set up at this moment in time, which is the end of April 2019. I am running the channel on pretty much zero budget, and I'm trying to get more of that going so I can make the upgrades I need to bring you the best image and to bring you the best content I can. And I could use your help to do that by becoming a patron for monthly donations. There's also a PayPal page set up for one-time donations. That said, there is never any pressure to do that. I know that not everybody can afford to donate to creators on YouTube, but the option is simply there for those who would like to. If you're watching on a YouTube browser, you may see around me right now on the screen a couple thumbnails of videos of other guitars, basses, and things of that nature that have helped me out, and I'd love for you to check out those videos as I review a lot of products, and there's some great stuff out there. And until the next video, I will see you soon.